Taco Sunday fun day. Hope everybody made it through last night's weather insanity. It has been wild. We'll give everybody a couple minutes. I know it's early for a lot of folks. We'll see who makes it and who doesn't. Oh, let me twist my camera just a little bit there. Okay, great. And if anybody is out there, if you could please, as usual, hit the like button for me so I know anybody's in there. Good morning, Handsome Stone. How are you, my friend? Can you hear me okay? That is awesome. I really appreciate when people say that stuff and say that they can hear me, because there's nothing more annoying than watching something and going, hey, can everybody hear me? Can everybody see me okay? Yeah, it kind of throws me off when I watch stuff. Thanks for the like. Appreciate it. I'm just connecting to the comment section right now. I didn't lose track of time, but I thought I had a couple more minutes. And I was sort of watching some baseball scores, and I kind of just lost track of about 5 minutes, so there we go. Mercy B, good morning. How are you? Just lost track of about 5 minutes, so there we go. And everything. All right, we should be going pretty good. All right, everybody see this? All right. Yeah, we're going to be making tacos. I wanted tacos for the afternoon to watch baseball. It's a pretty dreary day here. It's kind of like London, England. It's been like that all week. Flooding, and I haven't had much flooding. I got a backyard that has a lot of tile in it, but it's not that great. But so far, it's a little squishy. That's about all I've had. Let me turn off. I got the weather radio. I always forget the weather radio that's going on in the background. There we go. Yeah, I've had the weather radio on in case something happens. And so far, so good. We've had a lot of rain, but I'm not really that prone to flooding here. But it is like around us, so I've been trying to keep everything on so that in case anything does happen, I know about it ahead of time. What are we doing today? We are doing tacos. Yeah, in my haste to get on here live, I forgot to put the title in, which I'll go back and do that. But yeah, and mostly it's here. I've worked on this taco meat recipe for a little while, and I think I've kind of gotten it down pretty well. And I'm going to share that with you guys this morning. It's kind of it's a good replacement for the taco meat packets that you see, and to kind of get away from all the stuff that's in those packets and the artificial colors and flavors that are in there and the preservatives. This is all pretty natural as far as much as you can get with seasonings from, seasoning purveyors or the grocery store or whatever. But yeah, we'll be doing that. And like I said, I think we're in about 5 minutes, so I need to do that. I haven't made them for a while. Yeah, and I really like this this taco meat recipe. It's sort of a Taco Bell-ish, but a lot better. And today I'm going to be doing it with ground beef. Here I've got 1.5 pounds of ground beef right there. There we go, 1.5 pounds of ground beef. But I can do that. You can do this with 1.5 pounds of about anything, chicken, pork. A lot of times I use skirt steak or what's the other one I use? Flank steak. Flank steak and skirt steak take a lot longer because the meat has to cook down, and I'll go over some of that a little bit. But anyway, bro, stop. Yep, in Lapo. Murphy, I don't think you spell too good. Yeah. I don't think you spell that great, buddy. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, but I do like trolls, so I appreciate you trying. Good luck next time. Anyway, so we're going to be doing that, and I'm getting we're going to be using the Lodge Enamel Dutch Oven 5.2, and this is where I really wish I had like a 3.5 quart Dutch oven. I do have the smaller ones in cast iron, like bare cast iron, but I don't. I'm going to be using this I'm going to be having it on the stove all day, and I don't want to mess up the seasoning on my regular cast iron, so we're just going to go from there with everything. So we'll bring you guys over this way, and we'll get started on the meat part of this. And I've had this heating up for about 5-10 minutes. So we'll just use a little bit of avocado oil in there. And once I get this browned up, which I'm hoping that it browns up pretty quickly, we'll go in and I'm gonna add some water to that. And I'm gonna actually jump over and grab my water real quick so I can add that when it's ready to go. Because once it's browned up, then it should be ready for the water. Let me get you in a little better. I've got full screen on that camera, but I realized that it's got those blocks on the side, which I've never figured out exactly how to get rid of those blocks with the camera. And I know that can be a pain when rewatch, but you can hit your full screen, and it should go to full screen for everybody. Let me grab my water real quick. And we'll set that off to the side as well. Okay, so we'll just throw our burger in. Got 1.5 pounds of 90-10, and I try to go a little higher on the meat because like a higher grade on the meat for taco meat, for this way anyway, for hamburger, because I don't drain the taco meat. There we go, kind of where we need to be. We'll brown that first. We're gonna come over and I'm gonna dice up half of an onion, and then I'm gonna add a half an onion into this and a little bit of actual garlic into here. So that's what we'll be doing next. And I'll do 2 teaspoons of, I don't have any regular garlic, so we're gonna be using minced. I'll just do 1. I'm gonna do 1 because the jarred garlic is a little bit more potent than, say, just regular minced up garlic because it sits in the marinade. SEK, hey, how are you? Rick Stunball, good morning. I got my Pepsi Zero this morning. Everything's right with the world. Everything is right with the world now. So we got that. Let me move this bowl out of the way. And we'll kind of go back and forth because I want to add the onion as I go along with everything else. We fix this camera angle. I've been messing with this darn camera for this stand. I think I'm about due for another stand. And let me break out the wood spatula for the enamel. Don't want to use metal. For those folks that are out there that are new with us, don't want to use metal in the enamel Dutch ovens. Let's see. And what we're going to need is a half of an onion, diced up pretty good. And we're going to save the rest of the onion to throw into, I'm going to use that for the topping. Dice up an onion. And like I said, I got a baseball marathon for today. Today's Sunday. It's my day. I can actually get some work done around the house. Sit at my desk while I do the adult stuff and pay bills and get the house straightened around for the week. And I get to do nothing but watch baseball and hang out. It's nice. Plus it's raining outside, which it's been raining since about Friday, really. So it's a good day to kind of stay in the house. Anybody else having some crap weather besides me? I saw the South got nailed again last night, parts of the South. So I hope everybody that's friends of ours that hope they're okay. And I'm actually trying to keep a better eye on the comment section in case those folks, I'm waiting to see if certain people, I don't want to, a lot of people I know kind of the area where you guys are at, but some people I don't know exactly, so I don't want to say, and I don't want to say for everyone's privacy out there where they're from or whatever, in case they do stop in. And this doesn't have to be perfect because it is going to be in the meat, as they say. It's going to be inside there. Sunny, good morning. Absolutely gorgeous out here in Southern California, as it usually is, if it's not on fire, I guess. Hope everyone's okay. Yeah, I mean, Mercy be, I sure do too. Because, like I said in last night's stream, a lot of these folks that are getting hit with stuff, it's been in areas, it seems like, where they don't get this stuff. I know places like Texas, and that's pretty crazy. Biblical weather in Texas, usually, always. I was having a chat with Huey last night, and he was talking about his weather down there, and he's talking about all this. He was saying it was rain and that they might get snow, but they're under a fire ban in his part of Texas. And I'm like, well, how did you get on a fire ban if you're having all this rain and snow? And he's like, well, it hasn't rained here in weeks, so now that's why it is. Mommy, hello, how are you? Good morning. Glad you could stop in. For all you folks new, we're also on a subscribe goal. So if you haven't subscribed and you want to see more of what we do, more of what I do, I'm almost always live on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. And then I've been doing weekends here recently. That's been kind of different and fun, and get to meet some new folks that stop by and cook. And we usually do this around 11 in the morning. Have been. It's new though. It's not like I don't want to make it sound like we've been doing this forever, because we haven't. But anyway, so we've got the onion in there, and we'll drag you over there and we'll stir that up a little bit so we're not just sitting over on the other side, because this is one of those deals where go left-handed here. I can switch it. And for all the baseball fans out there, and I'm not a Kool-Aid drinking Reds fan. I'm a pessimistic Reds fan. The Reds actually won a game last night, so I was pretty surprised there was actually a win. Put something in the win column. But anyway, get this going. And I'm going to throw one of the things I like to do with this stuff is I like to add a couple of my dehydrated red chilies in here. A couple of red chilies right in there, just whole and ready to go. And they'll sit and marinate. I'm going to see, sometimes I have Tabasco chilies in here as well in my dehydrated chili jars. There's a nice fat cayenne pepper. Throw that in, seeds and all. And that'll help kind of soak up some of the moisture. Like the some of the seasonings, like the chives, I'll be using dehydrated, and that'll help to thicken it up and get out some of that, so it's not such a soupy mess. Okay, there we go. But sometimes I add, if I have just a few Tabascos that I don't have enough for a batch, I'll throw them in here, but I don't see one in there right now. see here. Who else we got? Yeah. So throw those in. Get that. That's starting to brown up pretty nice. Oh yeah, I forgot I'm switch hitting here this morning. Pretty nice. It's going along good. And I'm not going to add the water until that browns up just a little bit more. So I can go over here and I'll start working on some of the other stuff. And I will drop a little bit of crushed, some of these I have, some of the peppers I have crushed up too. So we'll drop a little bit of that in there. Not much, I don't want to go, it doesn't have to be, there's going to be some spice in this. It's not going to be, and if you're, you know, kind of cooking for a crowd, then you don't need to go crazy with all the spices if you don't want to. I try and leave this sort of a middle of the road kind of deal. Ashley, hello from Texas. Hello from Ohio, Ashley. How are you this morning? Good to see you. Glad you could make it. Yeah, everybody's saying hi. Everybody's still, we're pretty quick into this. This isn't gonna, this shouldn't, I know, and I always say this shouldn't take too long, but somehow or another I managed to do that. Get a little sip of my Pepsi Zero here. HRJ, Smoking Bears, what's up, buddy? HJR, what's up? Val, good morning, Val. Good to see you, as always. I got my lime, and then I'm gonna just quarter this up. I'm gonna throw a little bit of lime juice in the beginning of my taco meat as well. These are kind of, ooh, that's kind of dry. Maybe I'd be better. Well, no, it's all right. I was gonna say, I thought there for a second. Sometimes, you know, if you get a dry lime, I try to get, when I pick the limes out, I try to get ones that don't have a rough rind, so I know that they've got some juice in them, because limes can be hit or miss. And then I've got some that are just gonna sit off to the side. I'm gonna add the lime juice on my taco as I go. And I did forget to grab the cheese out, but I can get to that here in a minute. Let's see. He's being silly today. Who's being silly? You are making a pregnant woman hungry. That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. And congratulations on the little package you're expecting. That's pretty cool. I like to hear about that kind of stuff. It's always nice when somebody's bringing a new soul into the world. Let's see. She's 20. Let's see. Oh, I'm missing some of the comments. Sorry, guys. I'm missing some of the comments. I gotta stir this meat real quick. It's coming along. It's coming along pretty good. And like I said, there's not much in that meat so far, but just some cayenne peppers, about a half an onion, a little bit of lime juice, hamburger, obviously, a little bit of burger, 90-10 burger. There's no spices in there yet that I can recall. I'll set that off to the side. And there we go. So I'm going to take a minute or two, and I'm going to go ahead and cut up some of the fixins, the side fixins. I am bringing 3 little ones. Oh my goodness. That's that's awesome. Congratulations on that. We'll get some of the fixins done right quick. I thought about making pico de gallo with this, and I've got everything I could make a little pico, but I don't know. Maybe next time. This is not in the cards for me this morning. I'm trying to keep this fairly simple too. Get our little container over there. I'm gonna lose this. I'm gonna lose this thing too. This. I just use that for the onion a lot of times, because onion's really hard to get. I always have a hell of a time getting onion smell out of my boards. No matter, it seems like no matter how much, seems like no matter how much I oil them, or I beeswax coat them, or whatever, it just seems that onion just always seems to permeate into my boards. So I brought out the surfboard board this morning. Right now, all I'm doing is eating and sleeping. Well, that's all you should be doing. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So, got that. We'll throw those in there. Tomatoes in there. And like I said, I'll break out the cheese here. I'll break out the cheese here in a minute. We're making, this isn't going to be an all day. This isn't going to be one of my marathon cooks, so tacos are fairly easy. And then the cast iron that I'm using today, I've got the Lodge 5.5 quart enamel, and then I've got my Sidney Holloware. I'm going to be using the Sidney Holloware to do the tortillas in. Use some lime juice on that board. I do. I use this one's a fairly new board. My surfboard board is fairly new. But my other one, my old heirloom board, I've used everything trying to get that out of there. And I was trying to remember, I even went back and tried to go through my old emails, because my uncle made me that board, the 3D board. And I've used every trick in the book to kind of get rid of the smell of onions out of that. And I've even resorted to a lot of the beard. I have because of the beard industry that I'm in. I have a lot of essential oils that I use to scent my products, and I've even used lime, orange, lemon, essential oil to try and keep the smell of it out, and it always just sort of lingers. It's not terrible, but I've just gotten to the point where I just use a board on it anymore and just work on it, and every time I use the 3D board to get it's not as bad as it was, but there for a while. I remember about a year ago being on another live stream, and I can't remember whose live stream it was, but you guys were in there, and I asked advice, because I do keep my boards really nice. Like this one's mineral oiled with a little bit of lime essential oil in there, and I use a quality oil to keep my boards nice, and I oil my wood utensils. And there's this, but anyway, I kind of got off track, but I was trying to find the emails from my uncle, who isn't doing too well, so I didn't want to really bother him. But I was wondering if it was the type of wood that he actually used to make the board. Why am I wearing gloves? So I don't cross-contaminate stuff. That's why I'm wearing gloves. Yeah. Let me see. Panhandle of Texas. Okay. Hope you do well. Big Texas Steak Ranch. Okay. I must have missed something on that one. I have one board for onion and garlic only. Yeah, that's like I said, and that's why I always use those little liners off to the side to do that. But even like these things, like my wood utensils, I oil those just about every time that I use them. After I use them and put them away, I try not to over oil them, but at the same time, I try. Actually, now I'm going to cut up some more onion, so I'm going to grab that thing back out. I'm going to dice this onion up real quick, so I don't want to get this board started off on the wrong foot. But let's see. Big Texas Ranch. Actually, yes, Smart Dog in the Panhandle. I'm near Cadillac Ranch too. Oh, okay. I have a lot of family in Texas. It's they are in south of Houston in like League City, Corpus Christi. that kind of thing. I think I've mentioned before, in Texas, between Texas and Georgia, I have 41 first cousins, and the majority of them live right around in the Houston and League City area. So I need to get down to Texas here soon. I haven't been in a while. I need to get down. Sorry I'm late. Had to go to the store after Lee and I finished this morning. Rusty, good to see you, buddy. But yeah, let's see. 9 hours away from me. Yeah, you know, when I first started going to see my relatives in Texas, I live in Ohio, and you can get about anywhere in Ohio, from the longest point to from the longest point to one end to the other, is just about 4 hours at the most. Three hours is a long trip. I can get most of the places I need to get to, I can get to in about an hour and a half. Once you get up in like northern Ohio from southern Ohio, it gets to be about 3.5, 4 hours. But when I went to Texas the first time, and I was like, wow, I drove because I wanted to see the country, and I was amazed how far Dallas is from Houston. William Hurt, good morning. Good morning. Just stumbling in. That's how I was last night when I got home, stumbling in. So, but anyway, yeah, I couldn't believe how far apart everything is down there. It was culture shock for me, because I'm used to, if you got to go from one side of Ohio to the other, it's not usually I can get about anywhere in about 2 hours from where I'm at. Let's see, burger's coming along. Burger's just about done up, and I don't want to over brown. I try not to over brown my burger. I just want to cook it down so it's kind of soft, and the onions are kind of soft. This is just my way of doing it. Okay, so that's going pretty decent. And I'll set that off to the side again. I haven't heard from Cynthia Wesley. Has anybody talked to her? She's one of our other regulars, and I know she's been in one of those paths of bad weather. She's had some rough hit weather here. Her and Debbie's another usual regular here, and Debbie has been having some rough weather too. I'm not sure exactly what part of the South they're in, but they are in part of the South. So, cut up some limes for my tacos. Let's see here. I don't want to do that. There we go. These off. And then there. And there. Probably need to get another couple ramekin type things and have them out here. You sent her a text, Rick? Oh, that's nice. That's good. Get the rest of my lime cut up. I don't know. I'm gonna save that lime because I might want some juice for something. So I'll just kind of keep that on the regular there. And what do I want to put my lettuce in? I've got to cut some lettuce real quick. Oh, that's what I was gonna do for the limes. These little ones. There we go. Set that off to the side. You got a torrential downpour. We haven't had a downpour, but we've had real steady rain, like everything. And I'm about an hour and a half from the Ohio River, and the river down there is it's really going. The river down there is really, they're having some, it's coming up pretty quick. And I used to live in Cincinnati for a few years, and that city, even though a lot of it's on hills, you can get into real major flooding. I know when I was going to college down there, and I lived up on one of the 7 hills at almost the very top in the university area. And it got all the way up and backed up everything into everybody's basement, and I lost everything that I had stored in our basement of our apartments down there. And I mean everything. I lost my baseball card collection. I had all the autographs from the Cincinnati Reds that I lost. I mean, I lost everything. Those floods are down there, being right on that big river, they are no joke at all. So I'm gonna just kind of rough this up a little bit. And all that. And I know that I often with a lot of my relatives in the South, especially in Texas, they're always like, oh, you should move down here and be close to family and all this kind of stuff. And that weather in Texas is freaking biblical. I mean, and that's where I had one of my cousins that was kind of an engineer type, a Harvard boy. He went to Harvard. And he was explaining to me, and I never realized this, that the reason that city parks sit so much lower is that so they can flood, all the floodwaters can go into the city parks, like the baseball diamonds and things like that, so that they have somewhere to go. And he was like, that's one of the reasons that it's like that here. So, yeah, I love to visit Texas, but I have no intention of ever being there. I like it here. There's not a lot of stuff that can kill you through nature. We do get a lot of tornadoes, but it seems that we get tornadoes in parts where it's prone to always getting tornadoes. Like it seems like the places that get tornadoes are always the same place. Like we have a town about Wapak, Ohio, famous Indian head skillets from Wapak. Wapak is always getting hit with tornadoes, all the time. About once a year. About once a year they get hit with tornadoes. Let's see. We go back over here. I got the lettuce torn up. And let's see here. I feel like I got a sneeze coming on. Okay, can we all see that pretty good? Okay, so we're in there. I've cooked out I've cooked it down pretty far. It's soft and ready to go, so I'm gonna add, I got about 1 1/4 cups of water, and we're gonna throw that into there. And this is where we start getting into the seasoning. Get the seasoning going and all that kind of good stuff. Get this lettuce in a bowl so I can move some of the other stuff while we're getting ready to do that. And that cooled that off pretty quick. I didn't use tap water for that. I used sink water, or water out of the Brita filter for that, and it was spinning in the refrigerator, so it cooled that down pretty quick. I wasn't thinking. All right, so I'm gonna set the lettuce real quick off to the side, and I'm gonna move my, I think I'm done with my board for right now. So I should be done with the board for a little bit. And then we'll get into what's actually in this. So I'll flash up like I usually do. I'll flash up my the meat recipe, and if you can see that, that's what's in there. I'm just going to throw it in a little bit at a time and mix it in, but that's my taco meat recipe. And you can make a substitution if you don't have cumin. I use adobo if I don't have cumin, but I don't think that there's any, and I'll double check I didn't add adobo today because I had cumin, but I don't think there's actually cumin in adobo powder. But it tastes like it does. I don't know. Adobo powder is kind of a odd critter. But what I do have in there is this. I'm going to use this stuff right here. We've got 5 teaspoons of paprika, and that's one of the things that I was sort of surprised about when I used to make taco meat. Kind of like I was trying to make it just like kind of learning when I was learning how to really make taco meat, is I always thought it would be the chili powder that was the big thing. Cumin and chili powder is what I thought would give it that really good taco flavor, but it's actually the paprika that does all the work. So you got 5 teaspoons of paprika, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of pepper, only 1 teaspoon of chili powder, and I do have, like I showed you guys earlier, I have the dehydrated peppers in there, and a little bit of the dehydrated cayenne peppers from the garden from last summer. Let's see, I got a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of oregano, a teaspoon of cornstarch to thicken it up. And when I'm doing flank steak or skirt steak in here, I will add a little bit of cream, about a half a teaspoon of cream of tartar, because that will help break the meat down a little bit, and it'll give it a nice, it doesn't really compromise the meat, but that cream of tartar in there will help break it down so it shreds nice. It gives it a nice shred. And let me see, let's see, where was I at? 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of cornstarch. Like I said, I've got cream of tartar on here, but that's only half teaspoon in case you're using the steaks. Let's see, half diced white onion, and dehydrated chives. I've got just enough to kind of make it look like chives are in there. I'd say about another tablespoon of chives is what I have in there, and that kind of helps thicken it up too. It's dehydrated, so they'll rehydrate in there. I've got a little bit of lemon juice, or lime juice, sorry. And if you have cilantro and cilantro's your jam, a little bit in there, a little bit of cilantro with all the other spices seems to go a long way. Seems like the oregano brings the cilantro flavor out a lot. So just a little bit of fresh cilantro if you have it. When I was at the store Friday or whatever, their cilantro looked pretty terrible, so I didn't bother with adding that in. We'll add a little bit more to this. I like to do it a little bit at a time. And this is one of those things that, like a lot of the stuff that it seems like I do, if you let this sit in the refrigerator overnight, it's so much better the next day. But it is really good if you've got a crowd to feed, like today's, like I said, baseball day, and this is just going to sit and simmer most of the day, and it'll get a lot darker red. I don't know how much that's showing up, but it'll take on a lot darker red color as you go. And I'm trying to do this one-handed because the camera stands in my way. Let me see if I can see some of these comments. Let's see. Mercy Rain gets too mushy for me. I hate mud. I hate mud now that I have a dog, Val, because my dog seems to be a mud magnet, and anything that has mud near it, my dog wants to go see it. So I get you. If you are out of cilantro, you can just spray. Let's see, raised in South Carolina. I was raised in South Mercy. It's snow. We moved once. Worry about till the next snow. Let's see. I'm a dirt magnet too. Me too. I'm either, there for the longest time, I was either, especially in the spring, summer, and fall, I'm either covered in rust from restoration, cast iron restoration, or I'm covered in dirt from being outside messing in the gardens, or grass, cut leaves, you name it. I'm usually covered in that. Winter's about the only time that I'm not. But you can see that's kind of as we go on, and I've still got quite a few of the spices. I'm just now getting down to the paprika and chili powder, but it's getting that nice, kind of the red color that everybody's used to with taco meat. I know not all taco meat. There's a million different ways to make taco meat, but this is one of those that seems to, no matter who shows up, they seem to like it. So I've got a lot of compliments on this. So, I go to the Mexican restaurant that I like to go to when I'm out running around. It's a few towns over. Their taco meat's not red. A lot of their taco meat, like if I just get tacos, their steak tacos, it's not red. and they don't divulge what they do different to it. I don't know, you know, there's just different ways to cook things, but this seems to do okay, and I can use this for anything. Nachos, if you want to do burritos, you know, do a beef and bean burrito, this works good in there too. And this is actually phenomenal for nachos. I actually grabbed a bag of chips, corn chips, for later, because I probably at some point will end up doing just nachos at some point tonight or tomorrow. See, it's starting to thicken, and it's starting to thicken up. And once it starts doing that, it's I'll throw the lid on it so it doesn't dry out. And sometimes I actually even have to add a little bit more water to it. But I started 1 1/4 cup or so, and then go from there. And like I said, this isn't going to be a marathon video. I'm trying to think. I still got to get the cheese out and get that into a bowl, and some tortillas out. But overall, this is pretty much, that's done. And sometimes if you have a little bit of salsa, and you can add salsa, I throw a tablespoon of salsa in there. Sometimes that adds a little kick, that adds a little flavor to it. Or if you have, like, you know, some jalapenos or canned jalapenos that you want to throw in, that's never a bad thing either. That'll work good in here. And I'm going to turn that down to simmer so I don't take out any more of my water. But that's if you can see the consistency of it, even with almost a cup, you know, cup and a quarter of water, that's your consistency of it. And I might throw a little bit of water in there if I need to. Sometimes if it's simmering on the stove for a while, I will throw a smidge more of water into there. But I'm going to lid that back up, and I'm going to get my cheese out, and we're going to get down to some nitty-gritty tacos. And that's timed out pretty well because it is just about noon where I am. And at noon around here, that's lunchtime. Noon in my house is lunchtime. So let me see, I'll get caught up on the breakout. Move this off to the side here. Let me see. Job site, last night for dinner, a can of chili over Frito chips, topped with cherry. That doesn't sound good. I mean, or that doesn't sound bad, doesn't sound good. Freudian slip. But no, that sounds good, man. I'd hit that. I was trying to think what I had. I don't even remember what I had for dinner. Oh, I had chicken wings. I had chicken wings last night that we made from yesterday. That's what I had for dinner. I had chicken wings. Let's see here. Let me grab my good kind of over this way some, because that's just simmering. Got my plate out. And I didn't have much sour. I thought I had 2 containers of sour cream. I did not. So I have a little bit, and I tried to make some sort of some creme fraiche. And I made it kind of thin, and I wasn't too worried about it until I realized I didn't have any more sour cream in there. So, yeah, that doesn't sound bad, Rick, especially for a job site dinner. Let me see here. Oh, cheese. I was gonna grab some cheese out, so I've got that going. And I was just trying to catch up on the comments there, because I have my big monitor. I have my back to it. And what was I looking for? Oh, cheese. So I've got a little bit of, where is my cheese? Get my bowl out. Get a bowl out for the cheese. We've got a few different kinds of cheese I'm gonna throw together to whip up this concoction. Let's see. So I'm gonna do a little bit of queso cheese, shredded queso cheese. I know that fresh is better. Oh, and there she is. There's the beagle. She heard the cheese. She heard the cheese bag going around. So we get a little bit of queso in there. And I like Colby Jack as well, so I kind of blend them together. We'll do, let's see. Biggs, you want some cheese? Oh yeah. She definitely wants some cheese. Oh, there we go. We got her case of cheese in there. And we'll do a Biggs cam real quick. Let's see. Did they get refried beans? I did not do refried beans. I thought about doing double-decker tacos. I like double-decker tacos, but I did not do any beans, which is kind of a sad thing because I have a lot of canned beans around here. Beagle. Can I get a spin? There you go. There you go. The Biggs, yep. There she is. There she is, the star of the real star of the show, actually. She's out here sniffing around. I'll give her some more cheese here in a minute. I got to get the other bag. I got to get the other bag out. Because I'm always one of those people, I'm kind of guilty of mixing cheese together. And I've got a little bit of mozzarella that I'm going to throw in here as well for the cheese pull, if I can get it open. Got a little bit of mozzarella that I'm going to toss into that. Not much, just some. A little bit of mozzarella to kind of add to the cheese pull of everything. Because like I said, I'll be doing different stuff. Let's see. And we'll do another Biggs cam. We already got her in here, so she's in here. Oh, I dropped a piece of cheese, so she's gonna get that first. Okay. All right, come on. There you go, sit. There you go, being so good. Being good, oh. And one more spin, and then I'll let you go back to eyeballing people outside from the couch. Here you go. Can I get a spin? Oh, no, she found a piece on the ground. Give me a spin. There you go. All right. The rest of that, throw it in your bowl. Toss that in the bowl there. There we go. All right. Back around to the co-star. The co-star, everything. Let's see, got a good score on a number 8 Good Health, $30, and a number 5 aluminum Griswold oven roaster with the trivet for $12. That is a huge score. Especially the Good Health is a great score, but a complete Griswold aluminum roaster, I mean, that's banging, man. Good job. Good job on that. I need to find one of those. Rick, one is 30, the other is a 40 gallon. I must have missed something on that. Greg Hart, what's up, buddy? Working around the ranch? Yep, good. Idle hands, as they say. Idle hands, as they say. Let's see. And then for the last, I'm a Colby Jack kind of guy, which where I grew up, we'd never heard of queso cheese or anything like that. Growing up, we always had everything on cheddar cheese. Everything seemed to have cheddar cheese. Like all the tacos I ever remember, it was cheddar of some kind. So I'm gonna keep true to my roots, and I'm gonna throw a little bit of Colby Jack. I like Colby Jack. Throw that in there, kind of mix it around just a little bit. But we're getting about to that point. Yeah. Working around the ranch. I can't do any work outside. It's gonna be nothing but indoors for the day for me. Nothing but indoors. I'm gonna get the griddle heating up. Like I said, we're gonna be using the Sidney Holloware griddle. Normally I use my Lodge griddle, but I wanted to give this some work. It got a little bit of buildup on the kind of the sticky on the surface that you'll probably see once I start doing the tortillas. And I'm gonna try and take that off, but I wanted to heat it up to get it to do that. So anyway, that's where we're at with that stuff. So we're gonna get, man, you're making me want beans. You're making me want to do some beans real quick. But I'll do that later. Cause that sounds actually really good for on the side. I think I will. I think I will do that real fast. If nobody, does anybody mind if I open up some beans and put those on the side? Get them beans out? Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. And I've got just the thing to do those in. I've got a nice little 1 quart. I got the 1 quart Lodge Dutch oven. And that is my go-to for beans. So we'll throw that on the stove and we'll get that going. Yeah, hope nobody minds. But I'm going to throw out some beans. And for folks that don't know, this is one thing, this is a little hack. If you have number 3 skillets, if you get a 1 quart Dutch oven from Lodge, it has the number 3 lid. So that's pretty versatile for anything you need. And it covers it seems to cover, it covers all my 3s that I've tried it on. So yeah, if you get a 1 quart from Lodge for whatever, I forget what I don't even remember what the heck they go for, to be honest, because it's been a long time since I priced up any kind of, I bought one of these things. I think I've had this for about 3 or 4 years. Refried bean, onion salsa, and cheese. I do not have any salsa. I'm gonna go, for my tacos generally, I just bang out some Tabasco sauce on there. Tabasco is my go-to for taco sauce. And for those of us that were here yesterday when I do the chicken wings, a lot of times for my chicken wings I just use Tabasco sauce too. That's about all I need. Refried beans, onion, salsa, and cheese. But yeah, let me do this real quick. I'm gonna get, I've got a can of beans like right here, and I will open those up right quick, and I'll be ready to go. Just give me 1 second out of camera so I can open the beans, and I'll be right back over there. But does anybody else besides me put water in their beans? I put water in my beans to kind of thin them out so they spread easier. But yeah, get out some of that. What's the Bush's baked bean thing? Some of that beautiful bean footage. Yeah. But yeah, I'll give that a minute to heat up though, because I don't want to throw the beans in right away, or they will stick, and I don't want those to stick. So we'll go back over this way. No sense of staring at an empty plate. Back over to this section. Maybe we'll take it up. We'll take it up to here and go that way. How about that, guys? Is that pretty cool? But yeah, I have a little bit of, on this, if you can see it there, I've got a little bit of that buildup on there. And sometimes on my Lodge ones, I'll leave that if it doesn't affect anything. But if it's sticky, a lot of times it'll turn into a nice seasoning. But if it's sticky, and this has kind of got some stick to it, so I'll get that off of there with a little bit of sea salt. You make your beans from scratch. You're a better man than I. You're a better man than I. I make my beans from a can, because I am super lazy when it comes to that kind of stuff. But yeah, so we're giving that a minute. I'll give the meat a stir and see how it's doing, making sure. Oh yeah, that's going pretty good. I don't know, you guys can't see that from that side. I hate to keep moving you around. This camera's so shaky but that is a really good consistency, and it didn't take long, and it's ready to go. And honest to goodness, the next day, that is even more fun. It's phenomenal the next day. Let's see. It's so easy to make from scratch. You make it in a blender, food processor or something, or just mash with like a potato masher. So that's what I would think it would. How I think, but you know. how I think it would go. But anyway, what I don't know could fill this place up. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be throwing in the beans. Just sound too good, and I've got chips. And when you guys started, yeah, potato masher. That's how I cook, smash my beans up though for chili. I don't know if I think I made my very first video was chili, and I think that it was my recipe for chili. But Graham, she always did, because none of the kids like beans, but she wanted the chili to last and go around, so she would mash the beans up with the potato masher in the chili, and then nobody ever knew it, and it makes your chili so good, so good. Every once in a while, when I make my chili, instead of taking time to mash my beans, I'll add beans, but then I'll throw a can of beans in there, and that's really good in chili too. And yes, I do put beans in chili, so for all you Texans out there, ha ha ha. And I put sugar in cornbread. But you know, I make cornbread without sugar too. I don't know what the dog's looking at. She's stalking something. She's this is how I'll spin you around real quick. I don't want to make it all about the dog, but this is how this dog spends her day. She's out there, she literally spends all day, if she's not on the couch, like perched up on the back side of the couch looking out the window, she's looking out here, and she goes from windows to windows, whatever she can perch up onto, because she's not a big dog. She's like 20 pounds at the most. Oh, and she knows I'm talking about her. She just turned around and looked. But and I've got those. I just took down. I have a curtain that goes over top of it, and since I've gotten the dog, I took the curtain down because she was just all the time getting tangled up in the curtain. So I just took the curtain down. That's how she spends her day. Let's see the advice panel to you, UK watcher. What's up, UK watcher? All the way over the pond. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm a rebel. Oh yeah. I'm totally off the chain, Rick. 100%. I usually make a big pot of Mexican. What's up, Jay Justice? Good morning. Good morning from all the way out west. People are in from all over. We even had somebody from I don't know if it was China or what yesterday. But I think I'm going to add just a smidge more. While I'm waiting on this pot to go, I'm going to add just a smidge more water to that, because that water is really kind of going quick. But and I'll use instead of getting out my bottle, my cold Brita bottle, I'll just go with leaded water from the tap. Just add about a quarter cup in there. Keep it going. If the sky isn't blue, what car door do you bring to the disco? If the sky isn't blue, what car door do you bring to the disco? Man, I love puzzles. I love riddles. You got me, Charlie. What is it? Because I'm trying to do this and do everything at the same time. So you got me on that. But don't make me chat Jeep tangerines, because they don't scare leopards. The sky isn't blue. I'm gonna have to look at that one again. Let's see. Then I'm gonna go drop just a little bit of avocado oil back into this one, and we'll wipe that around, and then we'll throw our beans in there, and I'll maybe drop some onion in that as well. Let's see. I want some of what he's smoking. Me too. Me too. That actually sounds not too bad either. I mean, just saying. Ha ha ha. Just saying. I kid. Because every once in a while, which isn't very often, somebody from my family will be watching, and that's not very often. I asked my mom asked me not too long ago how how these live streams go, and that she caught some of it because when I do the live streams on Thursday, it's when one of her shows is on. So she never tunes in. And the funny thing is like when I did the coleslaw Thursday, that's my mom's recipe. And she doesn't, it's on when her programs, you know how moms are. It's on when her programs are on. But yeah, for the news folks, please hit the like button and the subscribe. I'm on a goal trying to get to the 500 mark, which isn't and shouldn't be hard to get to, but I am not on any other social media but YouTube, so I don't have that other audience to go to. Definitely not on TikTok, definitely not on Instagram. And we'll let that heat up here a little bit, because it's noon, I'm ready for tacos, and I'm gonna get some more of this Pepsi Zero going. You want, Charlie, are you trolling me? Are you trolling me, buddy? I think you're trolling, bro. I don't know what the question was, but I think you're trolling me. That's okay. I love trolls. I love when people troll the channel. It cracks me up. I got a buddy of mine that's an ice road trucker, and every once in a while you guys will see you'll see him, and it's Johnny the Ice Road Trucker, and he's an actual ice road trucker in Alaska, and he has a channel, and I think it's Johnny the Ice Road Trucker, but he comes in and trolls. He trolls me all the time. He trolls me all the time. Yeah, Charlie, I don't. If you're not trolling, that's cool. I don't always, the monitor's to my back, so I don't always see what all the questions are. So, but if you are trolling, you're more than welcome to do that too, man. Let's see. Get that in there. Throw a little bit of onion in there as well. I should have threw some. Man, I'm gonna start. I just was thinking, man, I should throw some jalapenos in there. You know, I'm just gonna turn this into a two hour live stream, and I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to make this, you know, keep it down to about an hour and a half at the most today. There we go. I am gonna add just a smidge of water to this. Just a little teeny bit of water to kind of help that thin out. It makes it a little more spread. I'm gonna go and spread my wisdom to the masses now. Okay. Well, thanks for stopping in. You can spread wisdom in here too. But thanks for spreading your wisdom here. I know you're probably busy doing that. Let's see, that'll help. That little bit of water, get that thickening down, because I'm ready to smash. I don't know about anybody else. What's everybody else having for lunch? I like adding butter and cheese to my refried beans. Yes. That doesn't sound bad either. Throwing Miracle Whip, chocolate syrup, and cayenne pepper. Absolutely. See ya, Charlie. Stop back again. Throwing some Miracle Whip. I do have about a half a bottle of Miracle Whip, so don't tempt me. Even though I probably, and the thing of it is after yesterday and using that Miracle Whip to make coleslaw, I started thinking of all the things my mom used to make with Miracle Whip. So I'm going to be on a tear doing that. And that might be some of what I do this Thursday coming up. Is I've got an idea for something where I need to use Miracle Whip. and I can do cast iron with it. So it's like a win-win. I might throw just a little more water in there. I had cream cheese and sunflower seed sandwiches. No kidding. some cream cheese and sunflower seed sandwiches. That's interesting. For breakfast I had a smoothie, blueberry smoothie with flaxseed and oatmeal in it. And collagen. That's what I had for breakfast at about 7 o'clock. Yogurt. Just drink it. I didn't have time for breakfast this morning, so I just, you get a pass. One thing, yeah, I didn't have time for breakfast, so I decided to drink my breakfast this morning. So I had smoothies this morning. But see, one thing about it, your kitchen always had, one thing about it, you always in the kitchen, you get a pass for the beans. Thank you so much, Jimmy. Good to see you, by the way. My wife makes always nice on the grill. Oh, for the grill pizzas, I'm really waiting to. Now that Jay Justice sent me that sourdough starter, I cannot wait to make sourdough pizza crust. That's the one big thing that I'm really looking forward to. Is sourdough pizza crust. I see people doing it all the time. It looks really good. It looks really good. And once this heats up, I'm almost half tempted to throw the lid on this to heat that up. Just keep that lid going. Get that in there and heat this up just a little bit faster. Which I think that's what I'm gonna do. Since I just happened to. I've done. I don't know if everybody's seen the Jack's frozen pizza recreate that I did, but I do the Jack's pizzas on the grills, and those are really good. I'm a huge fan of Jack's pizza because they're so easy to dress up, and I like the crust. I'm a thin crust kind of guy, so I think those are really good, and they're really easy to do on the grill. And I'm trying to think that if I have anything else that I want to add to this before I start eating. Yeah, my sour cream is just a little bit on the thin side because, like I said, I thought I had another container of sour cream in there, and I did not. And I thinned this down too much, and when I went to go, because I like to thin the sour cream down with oh, excuse me, I got sneeze. Too. I like to thin the sour cream down a little bit with milk, so it's easier to spread. And that was something that somebody from I got a friend of mine who owns a Mexican restaurant, and he was like, "That's one of the things that's how they." Because I was like, "How do you guys get it out of the container?" He's like, "Oh, we just add milk to it." I'm like, "Oh, that makes sense." And I tried it, and it actually does work. So. But I thinned this down and thinking that I had more sour cream in there, and I don't. And I wasn't going to run out. Yes, you thin it too, Rick? Yeah. I did. I always wondered how they did that, and that was one of the things I used to. Like I said, I've got a friend of mine who owns a Mexican restaurant, one of the few, and I'm not big on the word authentic, but his stuff is actually really authentic because he goes to Mexico about 3 or 4 times a year, and he drives to Mexico. He's from Mexico, and he'll drive down there, and he goes down and gets a lot of his ingredients from Mexico. So if you're not getting it from Mexico, it ain't authentic. That's how the Badger looks at it. But let me see here. I'm gonna see how that. There we go. See, I'm getting some steam on there. That's what it needed. It needed the lid. And I'll work with that. So I think I'm about ready for, let me get down, let me break out my taco holder. One of the umpteen thousand taco holders in this house. I know there's usually one fairly handy. And, yep, right there. Got the taco holder. That's a must. And let me get a spoon for, what size is the Black Lodge? That is a 1 quart. And Fatty Meats, you did probably come in right after I said what I said, but the 1 quart, if you If you don't have a lid for your number threes, you get yourself a 1-quart Lodge Dutch oven, because they come in so handy. Like this, just I had to make beans, so I did that. But this number 3 lid fits on so many things. It's a number 3 lid. So, and number 3 lids are kind of a pain in the ass to find. The only other number 3 lid is I have a Wherever from like the 1920s. I've got a Wherever lid that fits my threes. I've got the Descoware 3 that I have, the Ace Frehley pan, you guys see quite a bit. And then I have a number 3, the skillet, the smoker skillet from Lodge with the teardrop holes in the tops. And sometimes I use that for a lid. And, but yeah, number 3 lids are hard to find, and that's a little hack that I didn't realize that till I got it, and I got it home, and I'm like, oh wow, it's got the number 3 lid on there. So how fun's that? Anyway, so I got that down. This is going, and yeah, man, no problem. I tried to share the little bit of things I know in this world, which ain't too much. I try to share with anybody that will listen. And where's my little thing? There's my little spatula. So I've got over here, we'll get this view going again over to this way, kind of. And I'm gonna I don't know why I keep putting the damn avocado oil away, because I keep having to reach up above the thing here and get it down. But I'm ready to start kind of warming up my shelves and getting this rolling, because we are getting to about that point, and all that. Let me grab down those chips that I was all bragging about having. Get a bowl out of those, because I'm gonna have these beans. I'm gonna have some chips on the side with that, as I trip over the dog. Because not only is she a cheese fiend, she's a chip fiend. Aren't you, Beagle? Beagle is one big chip fiend. Okay. You want Chip? Come here. Come here, get Chip. There you go. Beat it. Beat it, Chip fiend. Okay. Got my tortillas ready to go. Got my chips. Got the beans. Jimmy, that sounds like you... I missed that one. So, toss. Oh, shoot. Forgot my oil. Almost messed it up. Let's see here. Throw a little bit of oil on there. And it still astounds me that 135 years later, that little griddle is still making anything. That thing, I mean, we talked about it in one of the chips and cheese. She's probably a little bit, her breed is a little bit Chihuahua, so there's Chihuahua in that breed. She's a rat terrier, and they're a little bit, they've got some Chihuahua in there, so that might explain it. But yeah, we talked about that before, how 130 years that this this little griddle's been going. Yeah, Mexican beags. I never thought about that. I actually have to check some. Might have to check some paperwork on the Beagle here pretty soon. I don't want anybody breaking my door down. Might end up minus a dog. Get myself a little bit more of that Pepsi Zero, and we're going to be ready to serve this up, because as soon as those tacos start coming off, I'm going to kind of, as far as that goes, I'm going to kind of do like a double-decker taco, kind of the Taco Bell double-decker. If she hops about, does that make her a Mexican jumper? She hops all the time. And she hops all the time, Val. I think you're on. I think everybody's onto something with this. I think I've got some serious issues with this dog. Ronald Coward, good morning. Or it's, well, now afternoon, which is just in time for lunch. But yeah, I think I'm going to do a little bit of a, kind of a Taco Bell. I'm going to smear some of these yummy beans on there. I'm going to turn that, those are heated up, so I'm going to turn those down to a simmer. I don't want those burning up. And we'll set that off to the side. Set that over there. And check our taco meat. Taco meat's fine. Turn that down too, to the simmer. A little more of a simmer, because I don't think that needs any more. Oh shoot, maybe that was a little too hot. I think it'll be all right. It'll be okay. I forget how thin this one is compared to my Lodge that I usually make my tortillas on the Lodge, and this one, and this one's super thin. So, but that's not bad. It looks a little worse than it is. Let's see. That's not bad at all. I'm pretty happy with that. And actually, with that being like that, it's kind of puffing up a little bit. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. So what I'll do is I'll take that and I'll smear some of that into the inside. Put this into the holder. Put that into the holder. Add some cheese to that. We'll get it over here. I'm gonna swing you back and forth. So add a little cheese. You got their beans in there. We'll slide that back over there. Take the tops off everything. I don't think I need those anymore. Don't need that. And we'll get out the old Hobbit spoon. I'll add some taco meat to that. I got the cheese at the bottom. Some taco meat in there. A little more of that cheese onto here. Not much, because I got cheese at the bottom. A little bit of onion. A little bit of the onion. A little bit of tomato. A little lettuce. A little lettuce on that. I've got, oh, where'd my spoon go? Beagle, did you move my spoon for my sour cream? Let's see. And then a little bit of this kind of thin sour cream to that. Might not be bad. There we go. That actually is working out pretty decent. I'll toss a little bit more cheese on there. That looks, can you guys see that okay? Oh, you guys can't see that okay. My bad. So we'll start serving that up. I need to throw, let's see. Yeah, and throw some, I could put a couple limes there, because I'm gonna want to hit that up here in a second. Yeah, Charlie, welcome back. Nobody had any answers? Nobody had any, nobody wanted did they just not want your knowledge today? You never know. Fuzz, nothing is, I've learned one thing in life is that nothing is as it seems. So maybe not. Maybe the Beagle does do some cooking. Maybe I have one of those special trained, what do they call those? Support cooking. Where's the cilantro? Erica P, the cilantro at the grocery this week looked terrible. I wasn't even going to do that. Free USA, deport Trump. We'll leave. You can take the politics to another channel. We're going to cook here. Let's see. Yeah, the support. Let me see. Sport Beagle is probably what it is. But yeah, the cilantro looked terrible this week. I really wanted cilantro. I was going to put a little bit in there and have it as my garnish. But to be super honest, it was not my jam today. Not at all. So there you go. We got another one. we got our other tortilla ready to go. Slap some beans on there. Set that in here. Throw another one on there. Get that. All that one in there crooked. It's gonna harden crooked if I don't mess with it. Okay, anyway. So got some cheese. Sprinkle that down in there. We'll get the meat and throw a lot of that. I'm big on the meat. Let's see. There's that. Toss a little cheese on the hot meat. Put a little bit of onion on there. The tomato. And I think I'll throw some lime on that one. There you go. Sorry, getting my arm in the way. There's some lime onto that. A little bit of the lettuce for that one. Let's see. I had to flip that real quick. A little more cheese. We'll do the sour cream. Sorry, I'm getting out of order here. Do that. A little more of the cheese on there. And that one's done. And then I will do the next one. Smear the beans on there. Ooh, that one's hot. There we go. Let's see. And then the beans on that one. The cheese down in there. Real nice. Some more of this really good taco meat. It's taco meat. And I did flash up the recipe and somewhere toward the middle beginning of the live stream. If you don't want to do the packets, if you're trying to get away from the packets, like I was when I tried to figure out how to do taco meat without packets, or somewhat of the right way. I'm not saying that this is the definitive way to do tacos, but it does work, and it works really, really well. Then a little more lettuce on there, and some of our sour cream on there with a shot more of the cheese on the top. It would be nice if Erica P is still in here. It would be nice if I had a little bit of cilantro to just drop on the top of that. And we'll get some beans down here in the corner. Some beans down there. Take this lime, trade this out for a good one. Put that lettuce over there toward the top. Because I still have to get a screenshot of this, or a thumbnail, I mean. There we go. And we'll throw a little bit of that cheese on there. Move these over just a smidge. Get some of these chips that I want on here. There we go. Fuzz, you still can't. Let's see. And then got that. Oh, and we want a little cheese on the beans. Little cheese, little onion, little tomato, and some cheese on the beans. And there we go. Turn the oven off. Turn the oven off. Because that is all I need. 3 tacos, Pepsi Zero, and I don't know what I did with my lid to my Pepsi Zero. I lost it. But anyway, I don't need the straw. But anyway, I've got the Pepsi Zero. Let me get my screenshot right quick. There we go. And boom, there we go with that. I think that'll work. And then we'll give it the old taste test. I know the Beagle's wanting to taste test something. Let me move this camera just a smidge more. There we go. Oh, I don't know what I did I did something to the base. I'm sorry. Hold up. I did something to the base. Oh my gosh. I don't know what I did to that. My bad. It's always at the end. I'm always doing something at the end there to mess everything up. There we go. There we go. Okay. The base kind of gave out on me. I pushed the base down. You know how trying to tripods up? I pushed it down. So let's give this a day. Beagle, you're really going to have to get back. I know you're hungry. I'm hungry. Let's not get in there. Okay. So let's do the first one. Give it a try. Being in front of all that cayenne pepper is making my nose run. That's what I'm talking about right there. And I bet altogether, between everything, I bet there's like $10. If you went to a Mexican restaurant, or even Taco Bell, God, Taco Bell's like $100 anymore just to go to Taco Bell. But there's probably like $10 there, and this is really good. And the bean idea was fantastic. The bean idea was great. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, I still got my gloves on. Try some of these beans. You want to chip beaks? There you go. There you go. You're being good. You're being a good dog. Let's get some of these beans going. Those are nice and hot. A little bit of lime on there. A little bit of lime on all of it, really. I mean, let's not be stingy. Let's not be stingy with the lime. No reason to. Got a whole bunch of lime to use. Yeah, that's not bad. I really don't know what I did, though, with my... Let's see. I really don't know what I did in the lead to my drink, but I don't need it. My Pepsi Zero. I'll have this one for you, Rick. I don't know what... We got hate speech going on in the comments. That's pretty cool. Always good for some hate speech. Especially if somebody's calling out hate speech. I don't know. That's funny. But I guess some people think everything's hate speech. Especially if they don't agree with it. Oh, this is a troll? Yeah, people that usually say the word hate speech, everything to them is hate speech if somebody doesn't agree with them. And it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. It usually comes from one more than the other, but we'll leave that for another day. Yeah, Fuzz, Cynthia, I wonder, because she's been in that line of, weather, so I hope she's okay. But anyway, thank you, Ronald Coward. This is really good. It is really, really good. Yeah, I mean, it's, let's see. And back, I will watch replay. Oh, you watch Handsome Son. You're back to watch the replay for what you missed. Yeah, you didn't miss a whole heck of a lot. I think maybe making beans at the most. would totally. Yeah, it's really good, and the lime makes it all worth. Gotta have that fresh lime. Now, I'm not a big guacamole fan. I know a lot of people love guacamole. I'm not a huge guacamole guy, and the only place that and this is the only place. Hey, Glenn Campbell, what's up, buddy? The Rhinestone Cowboys here. The only place, and this is kind of really basic, is the only guacamole I've ever had that I like is from two places. One's my buddy's restaurant, and the other one is from, what's that called? Chipotle. Chipotle? That's the only place I've ever had guacamole I like. And I've tried to make guacamole, and I absolutely hate it. I've tried avocado a million different ways, absolutely hate it. But those are the only two guacamoles I like. I've got a whole thing guacamole in the freezer that I made that nobody's ever touched since. She's just busy cooking a big meal. Oh, okay, that's great. I'm glad. I really worry about those guys down south with this weird weather that they've been getting between the snow, tornadoes, in some of these parts that never get tornadoes. It's pretty rough. There's a lot of people that do, man. Hot Wang, how's it going, buddy? But yeah, man, I've just never been a guacamole kind of guy. And I want to like it. It looks good. And like I said, the only places I like it, and like I said, my buddy I'll shout that out. It's Flying Pepper restaurant, Mexican restaurant in Bellefontaine, Ohio. Some of the best damn Mexican food you can get any part of the country. And the absolute best guava margaritas I have ever had in my life. The best margaritas I've ever had in my life. And I pride myself on the margaritas I make at home that are fresh. And these just kill it. I've actually, I mean, I don't even want to say the amount of money that I've blown on margaritas in this guy's restaurant. Especially, even in one sitting, I've blown some cash. Because they are that good. Radagast, how are you? Are you just popping in, or have you been lurking around for a while? Yeah, LJ, I a lot of times, man, I don't dig on guacamole too much. I've only had it a couple times. I've only had a couple times that I actually like. I've tried it a bunch. I mean, heck, a lot of times, every time you go somewhere, they bring out guacamole and chips and something. I've tried it a million places because there's not, at least around where I live, I've been to about every Mexican restaurant within 200-300 miles of here. This is the second or third time this week I've had Mexican food, and the first time I made it, and none of it was from Taco Bell. There's another place called El Campo in northwestern Ohio, and El Campo, it's kind of went downhill a little bit, but man, that used to be some of the best Mexican food I've ever had too. And it was one of those restaurants where you just go in and you tell them what number you want. You know what I mean? That's how you communicate in that restaurant. You're just like, I want number this, or point to the thing, and they knew Coca-Cola and Budweiser, and that was about as bilingual as that place is, and it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Salsa and chips way better than I like salsa and chips. I got into this thing last summer of making my own salsa and chips, or making my own salsa out of the garden. Because when you're getting about 50 tomatoes a day, you tend to get, you start trying a lot of stuff to get rid of the tomatoes. And we were doing a lot of salsa, and I made some pretty good blender salsa last year. But the trick was the cilantro. The cilantro, and I added one of the things I added to my salsa that I really liked a lot was I added a little bit of liquid smoke. Just a couple dashes of liquid smoke made oh, I didn't even put any Tabasco. I didn't put Tabasco sauce on this. Man, I am like killing the team here today. We are not getting the authentic Mexican experience without a little. Even though Tabasco, I had to explain to somebody once that Tabasco didn't come from Mexico. I'm like, it's Louisiana, dude. But but you got to have I love Tabasco sauce. And one of these days, one of my show ideas that I want to do pretty soon is, I don't know if anybody's too familiar with Hot Ones, the wing thing, but I've tried of some of their hot sauces and I don't really care for them. But I'm a huge fan of everything that Tabasco does, and I actually want to do a Hot Ones challenge with all the Tabasco flavors. LJ, if you're not, I think you're new to the channel. I have a absolute disdain for smoked paprika. To me, it tastes like barbecue sauce. Now, maybe I just haven't had the right ones yet, but I've went through 2 bottles of smoked paprika from ones that, I've went from really highly recommended companies for smoked paprika, and it just to me it makes everything taste like barbecue sauce, which I dig barbecue sauce, but not on everything. Let's see. I know I did forget the Tabasco, and I've got scorpion in there, and I do dig on the scorpion, but the Tabasco scorpion is one that I have to kind of just eat that. That's more of an additive to me. Like you add it into chili, or you add it into, like, say it's taco meat or something like that. Because to dash it on, the scorpion sauce is pretty potent. Especially like my stuff. I buy them in these big ones. I buy the big things of Tabasco, excuse me. And longer you have them, they don't go bad. And the longer you have them, and I don't really set them, if like the Tabasco, I'll leave the Tabasco out all day. But if you sit it out and you're using it, it gets a lot hotter. A lot hotter. I'm gonna drop that overhead light. It seems to be washing everything out, but I'm not gonna be on here much longer. We'll see how that does. But I think the overhead light with all that is kind of washing the picture out. Yeah, that's a little better. See, I'm used to doing these on Thursday nights, and I'm used to doing these on Thursday nights, and it's generally dark. But I'm right next to my patio door, and so yeah, I'll have to remember that. Turn the kitchen light off. I don't need it. See, that's a lot better picture. A lot better picture. It's not so washed out. See, Mercy B, you're not going to be missing much else. I'm going to be wrapping it up here pretty quick. Yep, I'm going to be wrapping it up here fairly quick, because I've got to. I'm going to finish my stuff, and I've got some stuff. It's so weird to do these videos. I'm so used to doing them at 7 o'clock and finishing up around 8:30 or 9 at night, and I look over the clock and it's like 12:30. So it's kind of throwing. It's kind of different. But anyway. But yeah. I hope everybody's staying out of that wet. Once again, not to be redundant, but I hope everybody's staying out of the weather, staying safe. Bring those dogs and cats in if you can, and all that kind of stuff. We'll look through here just a little bit more. Nikolai. Frank's is not as hot as Morgan's red sauce I got in the fridge. Moruga. Sorry, I got my glasses off. The Moruga red sauce that I have. What's Moruga red sauce, Nikolai? I've never had that. I kind of just stick to the Frank's Red Hot or Frank's Red Hot for the buffalo when I do buffalo wings, and everything else is Tabasco sauce or salsa. You know, I do a lot of salsa, but um, I don't I don't use a lot of different sauces. To me, a lot of the other sauces, they tend to be really salty, and I don't like that. I'd rather have the heat than the salt. We like flavor, not heat. Not yeah, yeah. I mean, it can get too hot. I mean, there's some things out there like Dave's Insanity sauce. I think that's too hot. But I've always just went with Tabasco sauce like my whole life. I've had Tabasco sauce that's what we always had in the house growing up. Yeah, and you're right. You can get to be too much heat. That's why I didn't put any kind of that's why I didn't put any kind of jalapenos or anything into the beans. I just wanted the beans the way they were with some onion and everything. Hmm. Yeah, stupid heat has its place, but I don't know. I like it. What do we have? I had a brand of chips the other day that was really hot, and I'm trying to think of what those were. And they were serious. They they were really really hot, but I couldn't stop eating them. They were really really good. Yeah, stick with sriracha. And the thing with sriracha that I really like with sriracha is egg rolls. Sriracha and egg rolls, man, that seems to be like the thing. Yeah, that's been I can't I've like totally switched up what I put on egg rolls when I started getting into sriracha about a year or two ago. And at first I didn't like sriracha on stuff, and now anymore it's that's really how I go, for sure. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. Um, I'm gonna start wrapping this up. I'm gonna get my day going too. Get my kitchen cleaned up a little bit, and I've got some stuff, and sit down and watch some baseball and do some stuff. Sriracha on pizza. I've never had that. I've never had the sriracha on pizza. That's one I'll give a try because I Tabasco my pizza. I do that. Let's see. Audios chat. CLJ. Hit the subscribe button on your way out. I would be greatly appreciated. I'm on goals for 500. So hopefully I can get to it. Yeah, it does work for cleaning the sinuses. I used to have a roommate that would if he got a cold or anything, and he had allergies really bad, but he would put chili powder and butter on bread and eat that. And eat it all the time. Thanks, LJ. I appreciate you. I really do. Thank you for inviting us into your kitchen once again, Mr. Roger. Mr. I know what you meant. I know what you meant, buddy. I've sent so many, I've sent so many weird things into live chat. I speak wrong spell check anymore. I've been so long in the cyber world. I speak bad spell check. Ron Coward, see you, buddy. Thanks for showing up. And you guys, if you want to try a good taco recipe, this is a really good one. I highly recommend it. And and you get away from the packets. And generally, most people that come to places like this, and the folks in our chats, you guys have all this stuff probably right on your countertop. So, I mean, you guys probably have a lot of this stuff just sitting there. So it's easy to make, and surprisingly enough, it's just a lot of paprika, and it does the job. And don't be afraid to open a can of beans at the last minute too. Ronald, 550. 550 what? Oh yeah. What, views? Yeah. The lives on the lives, man. It's surprising. I really 550 subs. Oh really? Damn. Oh, maybe I hit that 500 mark I've been wanting to hit at. Now I can actually put some links up and get some mods. That'd be great. Yeah, Val, thanks for showing up. You guys make this. I'm just cooking. It's the company that counts. You know, so yeah, that's what we're shooting for. Yeah, 500 is what I'm shooting for. That way I can get mods and I can do my links. So that's all I really care about. After 500, everything's downhill for me. So that's awesome. But yeah, you guys make it. I'm just sitting here cooking. You know, I'm just sitting here cooking. I'm not. You guys are the ones that make it fun. I'm just some idiot with a camera and some taco meat. So you know, you guys are the ones that make all this worthwhile. So. And it's fun. Yeah, I have a lot of fun. I'm lucky. I have a, you know, get the beagle and apron. You know, that's not a bad idea, Fuzz, because as weird as that dog is, she loves to get dressed. We went out this morning and I broke out a raincoat, and she loves it. She says she loves putting on her sweaters. She likes putting on the raincoat. She likes wearing her her vest, like her harness vest. She loves it, and and she doesn't like to take them off. It's like some days, you know, like when I'm running the heat in the house, I don't want her to have so much on, you know, because she'll start shedding, and I'm sure she's not comfortable wearing that. But she'll fight to keep her sweaters on. And if it wasn't going to be so cold outside today. Yesterday was 65, but today it's been 30. It's 35 when I started this, and she had a sweater on this morning, and I took it off because I had to turn the heat on for just a little bit to kind of take the chill off the house. So I took her sweater off, and she was like, she's been hawking for it. What female doesn't? Be honest. Right. She just loves it. She loves her sweaters. And the funny one was when her and Ming at Christmas time. My daughter's friend got the Beagle and Ming. They have matching sweaters, so that was really funny too. But anyway, I'm gonna let you guys roll on out of here. I will see you guys on Thursday, and I'm gonna do a salad with cast iron. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that while I have all this Miracle Whip. So that's what we're gonna be doing. We'll be doing a salad with cast iron. All right. So everybody, you guys have a great Sunday. Stay safe. Thanks for being here, and we will see you guys in the comments section. All right. See ya.